Hi all folks, this is Max from HTC Evo Hacks.com. So today I've got the world's fastest Gingerbread ROM on my HTC Evo 4G. It's almost as fast as my Evo 3D. So let me give you some impact testing real quick. I know there's a bunch of Froyo ROMs that's pretty fast, but problem with Froyo is you can't run some of the applications for Gingerbread. But this one's based on Gingerbread 2.3.5. It's a CM7 nightly version, plus I put Snap Turbo on it. So I'm getting like 42, 43 on my best times. And let me show you my Quadrant speeds. And while that's going on, I can explain. Look at how fast that thing goes. The Snap Turbo is actually for CM6, CyanogenMod 6, but I've got it installed on CM7, and it works, except that your 4G doesn't work and your USB drive doesn't work. If you don't mind those two things, then this is very usable. Everything works, just those two things. The speed is quite brilliantly fast. Let me show you. Look at that, I've got 2586. That's unheard of for a Gingerbread ROM on a HTC Evo. So I just want to show you that. It's actually pretty, it takes a little bit to install this, so I'll have an install video right after this. So let's get right to it, but this is the fastest Gingerbread ROM. It's pretty cool, huh? Anyway, let's go install it real quick. So first you'll need to download the latest nightly. I'll have links below, and also the Snap Turbo 7.6. This is the BFS. There's also a CFS. I haven't tried the CFS, but the BFS works really fast. So here's how to install it. Boot into recovery. You can do it by rebooting into recovery, or what you can do is you can hold down the volume down and the power button and then get into recovery like that too. Either way, or yes. And then what you'll want to do, let me adjust the camera real quick. So let me zoom in here, and once you're in recovery, what you're gonna do is wipe, alright, and wipe all data, factory reset. Of course, you have to have your phone rooted. I know a lot of you sometimes think you can install ROMs without rooting, but yes, that's the first thing. And once that's wiped, hit return, and then you can do flash zip from SD card, choose zip from SD card, and go find the nightly. I'm using the CM Supersonic Full. That's the latest nightly, so at least you can get the latest nightly, and then hit the power button, and then power button, and leave it alone for 5 minutes. And then we will be back when this is done, and then we're gonna install Google Apps and also Snap Turbo. And you have to actually follow this guide, because if you do it wrong, you'll end up pretty much bricking your phone. Not bricking it, but it'll end up in a boot loop. But if you follow these directions, you should be able to get it done. So I'll be back. Alright folks, so that's done. Next we're gonna choose it from SD card and go download GApps. You should have copied all these files over to your SD card, by the way. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. And then install the GApps Evo, this one. And this will install the Google Apps. Oops. If you get failed install, just toggle signature verification, because it's not, it doesn't have verification. And then zip it again, sorry. Go back to GApps-Evo-2011 0611 power button, and then this should install. Anyway, the reason why I've been doing this, I've been searching for the fastest ROM. So this one doesn't work with 4G or as a disk drive, but you can always get back into a Clockwork Mod recovery and mount your SD card that way, or you can take it out, or you can even set up an FTP server to copy files over to your HTC Evo 4G or any other Android phone. I'll have instructions on that. Actually, that's one of my other videos that I'm gonna do. Anyway, next, choose zip from SD card, and we're gonna install the Snap Turbo, this one, CM6-Snap V7.6 BFS _.zip. I'll have links below that too. Install, and this will take like 5 seconds. And it's gonna be done. And we're gonna reboot system now. And I've done a bunch of different ways to actually get the Snap Turbo working, and I found that you actually have to sign into Google Apps, Google Market, before you install the actual Turbo, because the Snap Turbo kernel, it doesn't just work. You actually have to, well, I'll show you a bit. When your phone powers up, go sign into Google Market or your Gmail, and then log in first. Anyway, I'll be back when this is booted up. And also, I'm trying to get more speed on my 3D and all my other devices. I'm trying to get the fastest Quadrant score, because it's a pretty good benchmarking of how fast your CPU, disk I/O speed, and graphics go. So it's a very good benchmark. And for this one, what it does is the Snap Turbo basically makes your graphics super fast, and it's not a gimmick or anything. So that's why you get such good scores on Quadrant. And it's also overclocked to 1.19, which is, you know, from the CM7 mod. So it'll be booting, and I'll be back. Oh yeah, I forgot to also mention HDMI doesn't work. And I think basically it's a kernel for CM6, so whatever that didn't work on CM6, it's not gonna work. But you get very fast speeds. So when it boots up, make sure you just sign in first. So I'm gonna do that real quick, and I'll be back. So once you've done that, I'm just gonna skip all this parts. Signing in. And what we're going to do is basically install the Snap Turbo. And it's going to actually give you a bunch of force closes, but it won't matter because you'll install it. So next, finish setup. And so we got here. So CM7 is working. And what we're going to do is go down to Market. Make sure you accept the terms, just to make sure it's working. Okay, it's working. I accept the terms already. Okay, once you've got the Google Apps working, then you gotta install this Snap Turbo, because I found that if you do the opposite, it won't let you run Market for some reason. And the author of the Snap Turbo says you have to put it in airplane mode, but I find that you don't have to. So hit Snap Turbo and enable turbo mode and hit continue and say yes, I want to kill my NLL Evo 4G, and just leave it alone. This is gonna take like 20 minutes, well maybe like 15 minutes, and it's gonna do its thing. If you see any force closes, just, you know, you can close them for the Snap Turbo app, and then it's gonna reboot by itself, and then when it comes back you should have turbo enabled, and you should be getting super fast speeds. And anyway, I'll be back. We'll have a smoke. Hi folks, so in the process, if you get a bunch of force closes, force close it. and it will continue and reboot eventually. Hi folks, so my phone rebooted itself. That means Snap Turbo kernel, well, Turbo has enabled, has been enabled. Sorry, my English is getting, I don't know what happened. Maybe drinking too much. Anyway, that means the Snap Turbo kernel's turbo mode is enabled, and we're rebooting. And you should reboot. This should take another maybe like a minute or two. So I'll be back when this reboots. Oh, it's been 10 minutes and it's not booting. So this can happen. So what I'm going to try to do is clear Dalvik cache, and hopefully that's the problem. You can get back into bootloader by volume down and power button. I don't know why this happened this time, because last time it installed flawlessly. So go down to recovery. And let's see if we can revive our Evo 4G that's stuck in boot loop. So let's get back in here. I'm just gonna go to wipe and wipe Dalvik cache. Hit the power button, and that's gonna clear the Dalvik cache. And hopefully that's the problem. So it took me actually a couple of days to get this configuration working, because I kept using a CM6 and installing Snap Turbo and wouldn't work, and then I was just doing a whole bunch of things all day, but I finally got it working. But I'm failing on this video. And you can wipe cache also, and that could be causing the problem, and that's done. So I'm gonna reboot now, and hopefully it's gonna get back into the ROM. So I'll be back when hopefully it reboots all the way in. Alright, so I got it rebooted. I'm just so glad, because whenever I make these videos, and if I fail, I can't post them on YouTube, and I have to start all over, and you know, it's kind of sucks. But so the problem was, I just cleared the Dalvik cache and I've got it working. And you can actually go to Snap Turbo here again, and it says currently enabled. If you can't click anything, that means it's, well, it says currently enabled. So now what you got to do is go to settings, CyanogenMod settings, and performance, CPU settings, and set it to 1.19 gigahertz or 1190 megahertz, and set on boot so it's always going fast. Or you can, you know, put it to lower, because you'll still get like near 2000 on Quadrant without overclocking, but with overclocking you'll get like near 2500. But the graphics is really fast on this ROM plus the Snap Turbo. The only thing that's not working again is 4G doesn't work. If you don't live in a 4G area, or if you don't care about 4G, you're fine. And USB drive doesn't work, so when you plug it into your computer via USB cable, you can't get disk mode, but you can get ADB. Just the disk mode doesn't work. To get around that, like I said before, you can basically get back into Clockwork Mod Recovery and mount it as USB storage, or you can take the actual SD card out. So that shouldn't bother you too much, because like me, I don't really, you know, use it as a disk drive much anyways, and only time I'm using to do that is to install a new ROM, so I get back into Clockwork Mod Recovery. But I do use 4G often, but I just made this video for those of you who might, you know, meet the perfect requirements. You don't need 4G, you don't need disk drive, you don't need HDMI mirroring. Then you can get this ROM with Snap Turbo and get super blazing fast speeds, and it is really fast. This is the fastest Gingerbread ROM right now. So check it out. I have download links below, and my next video is on how to install FTP server, so you can use it as a FTP server. So see y'all later. Thanks, subscribe. And I should have a video on the fastest ROM with 4G working and HDMI. That's my next goal. And also for 3D. See y'all later. That was getting long.